Leaders, changemakers, welcome. This is the Legacy Mindset Mastery course. I am extremely excited you're here, as today is going to be your next best phase, an important day of your shift into your timeline of success. This course is to help you understand and tap into the power of your subconscious mind. It's also here to help you influence your nervous system and managing those emotions and difficult feelings whenever you're in challenges and obstacles. And it's also here to teach you how to break free from societal norms, limitations that are blocking you from the door of your abundant timeline. By mastering these concepts, you will unlock, tune in, tap into your unshakably confident self, the self that knows exactly what to do, where to go, and how to react to things in all phases in your life. Welcome to your next best phase. My name is Golden Johnson. I have a decade of curating leaders into changemakers and changemakers into unshakably confident legacy mindset people. This course introduces the subconscious mind, its main directive, the nervous system and the impact it has on you, and you'll learn about societal limitations. So let's get right into this today. If you have a notebook, be sure to get out your timeline audit notebook to take notes, and be sure to tune into some gems I'm going to drop today in this training, because it's literally going to change your life. So the challenges and problems that will be solved in this video today is overcoming limiting beliefs, enhancing your decision-making skills, and achieving consistent growth. On the timeline of growth, you want to consistently be pivoting towards your desired outcome. If you are not moving, you are not going to be able to get to that outcome and goal that you wish to achieve. And this course today is going to help you embody that more, so you can tune into a more results-driven mindset and not be so overwhelmed to the changes that are inevitably going to come in your life. I also encourage you, if you have not went into the refining suite, there is a powerful series of subconscious mindset mastery to support you into your legacy embodiment. So this course is about a legacy mindset, but if you want to embody that, I definitely recommend you to go back to the refining suite and get into the legacy embodiment program. The subconscious mind has main directives to us. That's blinking, digestion, swallowing. These are automatic behaviors the subconscious mind is in charge of. And it actually goes all the way back to our survival days. You see, the subconscious mind knows how to keep us alive. That is its primary goal. So that means it's also attached to the habits we have, the behaviors that we embody every day, and the thoughts that we have on a moment-to-moment basis. You see, the subconscious mind is an observer. However, it's attached to your reaction mechanism. Therefore, it's going to observe something and then think automatically at the same time when it comes to your life. It's also in charge of your automatic actions. So if you were to get thrown a ball to, you probably catch it or duck and react to it, right? This is from your memory timeline. You have a timeline in your mind, in your subconscious mind, a database of flow of memories. And this comes from our ancestors, and the one before us and the one that has given us life today, which means that ultimately we are born with all the knowledge that we need to have. You see, when we were in our mom's womb, she was living life, we were already there due to the ovaries and eggs in her body. Can you imagine being in someone else's body, living their life, going through everything in their life, and then being born and being put on this earth? This is the power of your subconscious mind. It remembers up to 500 years of genetic memory, genetic intelligence, which is why it's so important to unplug from mediocrity, unplug from societal programming, and tune into your unique GPS system. So I'm happy you're here today, because that's exactly what you're going to learn to do. You're going to unplug from mediocrity and tune into your unique timeline of success. So let's understand the nervous system. Our nervous system, which is attached to our subconscious mind, is involved with our automatic behaviors. I want you to today to start to get aware of these automatic behaviors that you get when you are in experiences, relationships, or just day-to-day interactions with people. It's extremely important to become aware of who you are so you can start to pivot towards where you need to be. If you realize that you have negative thinking towards a specific thing, or you have an automatic thought towards a specific idea, I want you to right now write that down. If you need help to evoke memory and understanding of this side of yourself, then I definitely recommend you to tune into some hypnosis, EFT, and mindset refining resources in the refining library that will help you. If you're coming from the refining suite, then you probably have your legacy embodiment workbook. This is a perfect resource to have when it comes to understanding your nervous system, learning how to regulate it, and ultimately tuning into an unshakably confident place where in any moment in your life that comes up where you experience a challenge, an obstacle, a disrupted emotional state, this book is going to help you embody peace, clarity, and focus so you can start to create tangible results, positive outcomes, and cultivate meaningful and loving bonds with your partnerships, your relationships, and anything in between. So I definitely recommend you get this book if you are here for business and really want to embody your legacy. Let's get into societal programming and limitations. You see, in society, there are so much limitations. There are rules, there are laws, protocols for the masses. And of course, it's required to navigate some safety and consistency in our life. Now, the thing is that you cannot fully flourish in society because of the limiting structure that it has. And that's why so many people are either struggling with finances and mental health issues. It's either because they're so aware that the system is limited that they lose motivation to actually go after the vision and the gifts or skills that they have that is here to enhance not only themselves but humanity. You see, when you live in a limited environment, just by the example of the world we live in today, you will see people who are struggling with their own evolution and tapping into their legacy timeline. So I am really proud of you for being here today, as you are going to be on the right path of allowing yourself to be free, abundant, expansive, and become unshakably confident in making choices in your life that unplug you from societal limitations and tune you more into proper decision-making skills and mindset skills that's going to ultimately push you on a path of where you want to be. So now that you have an awareness of society and how it is limited, and yes, there is abundance there, but there's always a cap because there's always a rule. I want you to know that you are the exceptions to the rules. Being here today now makes you an exception to the rules. And I want you to allow yourself to see that in your everyday life. I want you to show up as the exception to the rules. And I want you to be aware of the rules, but make choices and habits and conversation that allow you to not be treated as everyone else, as you, my dear, are extra special. Just because you are tuning into your mindset of legacy, this is where abundance starts to create. So in my personal life, I am the exception to the rules. And I feel like no matter what I do in my life, I always apply that mindset in any scenario I'm in. For example, if there is a long line at a club and I have to wait in line, I'm not, because I don't like to wait in line. I don't like to wait. I like to move. I like to flow. I like to intentionally and deliberately place myself in rooms that allow me to flourish. So with that being said, you'll see me at the front of the line, walking right behind a group of people, acting like I'm their friends, which I am. I feel like everyone in my life are my friends or some type of good interaction overall. But with that being said, I don't want to sound too arrogant, but what I do want to let you know that it does sound arrogant to people living in limitations. Anything that pivots you in abundance and clarity and flow and positive outcomes is going to look arrogant to people who are living in a box in their own limitations. However, I don't want that to discourage you. I want you to be that person to inspire others to move themselves out of the box, to allow themselves to walk out of the prison that they are living in. And be aware that the door is always open. I always like to say, we live in such an abundant society where you can go on the internet right now and learn anything. With that being said, we all have the choice. We all have a door that's open in our own prison that we can walk through at any time. We just have to choose to put ourselves there and go through the path of challenges and obstacles and create a mindset that's positive, resilient, and able to move through and put us in a place of ease and results. So let's talk about this legacy timeline. What is a legacy timeline? A legacy timeline is 3 things. It's a place where all our genetic encoding is stored. It's a place where all our genetic intelligence is stored, our memories. I want to give you an example of salmon. You see, salmon have to go to specific parts of the ocean, of the water, to lay their eggs, to mate, to travel, and get into a safe space when that season is over. They have to go through many different phases, right? So when a salmon is born, it's in the open sea, but then there's something that turns on inside of them that makes them swim to a specific location to mate, and then makes them swim to another location to lay their eggs. Now, when it's all said and done, there's new eggs being born, new salmon being brought to life in abundance. Where do these salmon know where to go? How do they know where to go back? Who showed them the way? You see, the answer is nobody showed them the way. They have a genetic intelligence stored in them. All living things and creatures have this access. They have this stored within their DNA. Now, some are more amplified than others because the generation before them dedicated their time, just like you, in developing their brain, their mindset, and clearing away trauma and challenges out of their genetic intuitive system, like management of nervous system, like EFT tapping, hypnosis, removing huge blocks of the mind, interrupting those mindset blocks, which will allow us to have a more abundant future. So with that being said, a lot of families and children that come in this world are from abundant-minded people, and a lot of children are also from limited-minded people. So it's up to us to really be aware of this perspective, because ultimately you're in it to win it. You're here to do your best, but also be aware that there are people around you that may not have been able to tune into that abundant mindset, that timeline, the way you are. So I always like to say, show compassion, show grace, be polite. Do not allow other people's limitations to dictate your own choices, but also do not feel sorry for them. I want you to have abundance in your mind, in your bones at all time. Know that there is access for everyone when they choose to. Remember, you can't bring a horse to the water and expect the horse to drink on your behalf. It has to choose to do so. So the way you can do that is just continue to be an inspiring light for others to see, and so they can follow in your footsteps of positivity. So the next one is operating our best in an earthly realm. Like I mentioned before, you want to really tune into being polite, being graceful, being understanding, but not accepting the worst of the worst, okay? You are not here to receive any bad gifts or any gifts that are not aligned with how you want to be treated, what you want in your life. You are allowed to say no. So with that being said, say no with politeness, say no with grace, and understand that you are here embodying love. You are here to embody inspiration, clarity, peace at all times. So there are going to be moments where you are going to be pressed, and that's okay. Do some EFT, clear that energy out, do a lot of nervous system regulation, and you'll be okay. But remember, the goal here is to treat others how you want to be treated, leave people better than how you find them. So the last thing on a legacy timeline is you have an abundance of positive outcomes. You have an abundance of best case scenarios. Even when something does not work out for you, it's still working out in your favor. And I want to share with you a very powerful story. You see, I'm here in Miami, Florida right now, and I just met someone at the bar. I was ordering lunch and I was talking it up with the bartender, and they overheard my conversation. So we started to talk about the things I did and the opportunities that they potentially had for me. So we exchanged contacts. The next day, I wanted to go bike riding so bad. I wanted to continue my morning routine of being active and placing myself in my intentional creation. And with that being said, the concierge was late. I was very mad, but I did not show it, but I was very mad because I didn't get to do what I wanted to do. I want to do what I want to do when I want to do it. Why can't I have it now? Well, you see, your timeline has its own path for you that you need to trust. So in that moment, it's not that I didn't trust it, but I still have emotions, and it still was an energy in motion. So I was in that energy and I released it because I'm like, you know what? Let me go to the lounge. Let me take some content. Let me take some pictures. Let me journal. And lo and behold, who shows up in the lobby? The person that I was connected with at the bar. And they were like, wow, I just messaged you saying that you missed the sunset, but here you are in the lobby awake and working on yourself. And I was like, yeah, definitely. And the thing is here is people only can trust you when they see you in action. So if I responded to that message and I was like, yeah, I actually did see the sunset, they probably wouldn't have believed me because I'm still a stranger. They're still developing this partnership, this relationship with me. So there will be doubt there. However, my timeline of abundance, my timeline of astute reputation, of being the embodiment of my words, I was out before sunset and I saw that beautiful sunset and they knew I saw it. So guess what? They then invited me out to a conference that they were going to that same day, a room filled with extremely important, significant, and legacy-minded individuals. If I wasn't there, if I went and got my bike instead, if the concierge showed up early, I probably wouldn't have gotten this domino effect of an opportunity, right? So let's talk about the phase of your growth timeline. Being in your growth timeline means that there are going to be numerous amounts of phases that you're going to go through to get to your destination of where you want to be. Now, I want you to be aware that this can look like a loop and a pattern, as we all have our own patterns that we go through on a consistent and sometimes even a repetitive basis in our life. Now, how we shift out of these patterns ultimately is going to be reactive on how we interact and respond to these situations and scenarios. So the way you know that you're actually growing in your life is if you can look back at a similar time and you reacted differently. And not because of the fact that you wanted to prove something, but because you authentically and genuinely received a lesson, received an embodiment of how to be graceful, on how to be more polite, smart, intelligent, intuitive, setting boundaries, confident, things like that. You can look back at a similar scenario and then now look at the same one you're in and say, wow, you know what? I really changed. I really grown. That's what the growth timeline is all about. What is the growth timeline? It's identifying and navigating through phases, patterns, and loops. That is what the growth timeline is. Once you are identifying it and being aware of what it is going to be so much more easier to move through these phases and move through this timeline towards your successful timeline. Again, we all have different timelines, so it looks different for everyone, and I do not recommend you comparing yourself to other people, but only compare yourself to your old and previous self on how you interacted and responded in situations, circumstances, opportunities, thoughts, and environments. Now, let's talk about micro habits you can tap into today so you are on the right path of your growth timeline. Are you ready? Get your timeline audit notebook out, take some notes, and really tune in and be intentional right now. Number one is consistent connection. I want you to actively pursue genuine hearted change makers, genuine hearted and authentic connections that align with the goals that you want to make more of, that you want to have an abundance of. You see, if you're not aligning yourself with people, this is where that statement of it's lonely at the top comes in. You're going to have all this abundance and no one to really share it with. You want to have a beautiful, safe space of like-minded individuals that are on the same path as you, which is growth. That looks different for everyone, but as long as you both have values that align with growth, then it's a beautiful connection that can really grow into something meaningful. Now, it's time to tune into unshakable confidence. A micro habit of growth is to refine and embody unshakable confidence. Get out in public more, align yourself with opportunities that are aligned with your goals, and respond in a way that is confident. Respond in a way that is really aligning you with the outcomes you want to experience. It may be scary at first, but I want to share you this perspective. Nervousness and excitement are the same frequency. It's up to you to decide which one you want to experience more of. Now, if you're on your growth journey, you may have experienced nervousness before. You're going to tap into excitement, and this is where you want to be most. The third micro habit that you can align and embody with more of: identify and correct misaligned habits with love and compassion, using techniques like visualization, subliminal messaging, talk therapy, hypnosis. There are so many ways that you can really support yourself into correcting the habits and responses that hold you back from opening up to new opportunities and abundance. So let's talk more about growth. Growth is a series of events that enhance our knowledge, actions, and relationships. Growth is a series of events that enhance our knowledge, actions, and relationships. Once you step out of the fear phase, you step into change, you start to create success. We are now in the change and growth phase. And the more you identify yourself with events that enhance your knowledge, enhance who you are, your embodiment, enhance the way you do something, enhance the way you streamline your foundations in your business, whether that be with your family, your friends, this is where you want to tune all your attention in so you can become more of a deliberate creator. So you made it to the end, and I have next steps and homework for you. I want you to reflect on limiting habits that you have right now, something that maybe came up during the week. Maybe you had an opportunity approach itself. Maybe you had an opportunity to think more abundantly, but you chose a different route instead that was not aligned with where you want to be. And that's okay. Being aware of this is ultimately going to pull you out of being a victim and place you in a timeline of choice where you can choose to repeat that habit or simply correct yourself and pivot towards a more enhanced way of doing things. Next, I want you to practice the micro habits that have been introduced. I want you to do it this week. Apply it, be an active participant, a deliberate creator. Remember, everything you do here in the Growth Suite needs to be taken outside into your real world to effectively pivot you down a timeline of unique success and consistency of growth. Now, I have some templates and some pages for you attached to this video. I want you to review it, and if you have any questions, be sure to reach out. If you need any clarity on anything, if you need any support, we are here to guide you into a place of abundance for your next best phase. So you made it to the end, and I want to say congratulations. You are now tuned into your next best phase. Remember, on your growth timeline, your legacy timeline, you're going to go through an array of phases, an array of patterns and loops that are going to be presented to you. Be patient, be loving, and be aware that this is inevitable. And the more you transition into change, the more success is ultimately going to greet you on the other side of habits, behaviors, and opportunities that you decided to pivot out of, to pivot you in a path of fulfillment, peace, clarity, and abundance and flow. And I want this for you. So congratulations for making it to the end. Any questions you may have, we are here to support. Remember, you are now top priority, a deliberate creator in your timeline. I need you to tune in, tap in, turn on to the success energy that you have within your genetic encoding. Now, I invite you to also visit our library of extracurriculars, refining resources to help support you and accelerate your growth. If you really want a quantum leap, you got to definitely tune into extracurricular. And if you haven't checked into the refining suite, there are abundance of material there, the more foundational series of really embodying everything that I'm talking about. So if legacy is on your mind and you want to tune into clarity and success, I definitely suggest you to reach out at checkin@houseofgold.com. Welcome to the path of legacy mindset. I am so happy you made it this far, and I am very much looking forward to your achievements and success along the way. Leaders and change makers, don't forget who you are, the reason why you're here, and don't forget that you are now top priority. You take care, and we'll see you again soon.